Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the Aristotle unit. So we're going to learn a little bit about ancient Greek philosopher named Aristotle. This week, our next moral philosopher. He was born about 15 years after the death of Socrates. So he began studying at Plato's school in Athens at the age of 17. So he started his philosophy career around the time, same age as all of you. And you should sense a little pattern in what I just said. There was Socrates wandering the streets of Athens talking to people. Plato became a student of Socrates. Plato starts a school after Socrates' death. Aristotle becomes a student of Plato. And now you are a student of all three. And I think that's pretty cool. It doesn't mean you need to agree with them. In fact, you probably shouldn't. But they're a way into thinking about moral wisdom. And by learning from them, you inherit all the way back from 2,500 years ago or so, this legacy of thinking about these questions. So I think that's pretty neat. So Aristotle, again, generally like Plato, has this, who was his teacher, has this idea that we can gain moral wisdom about how to live our lives, about how to treat other people, partially, but not entirely, through a kind of thinking, a certain approach to logic and analysis. Just by thinking about these problems, discussing them with other people, we can actually make progress with our moral wisdom. As you probably saw in the reading, hopefully you've taken a look, it's not through dialogue, the way Plato wrote his texts, as in the Republic, which we looked at. And then what you read is actually something more like lecture notes, probably. They were Aristotle's notes that he would use when he was a teacher. And so it wasn't really necessarily written as something to be read, which is part of why it's so difficult. So how does all of this work? The reading was pretty short. You didn't have to read very many pages, but it's very dense, very hard to figure this out. And we're only going to spend this little week with it. It will carry forward a little bit into stuff we do in the future. So we'll continue to talk about Aristotle, but we have just this 1 week to kind of get our minds around what's going on. So that's my job in this mini lecture. I'm nervous about it. There's a lot to keep track of, pressure on me to try to make it as clear as possible, but I'll do my best here. You'll look at the reading and then we'll have a chance to talk about it all again in our Zoom sessions. So the first step in his approach, right off the bat in the first little chunks of reading, is he talks about what is translated often as ends, E-N-D-S. The Greek word for that, and I think it's worth learning a couple of these Greek terms, just kind of fun, but also maybe helps cement the ideas in your mind. The Greek word for that is telos, T-E-L-O-S, telos. So telos translates into English as ends. And you can also think of it, he even uses this imagery of something you aim at, the way an archer aims at a target. So a telos is a target. It's a thing you're aiming at, a thing you're seeking. So it's a simple idea, and he just wants to build out from ideas like this. This is his method. So ends are things that we seek. And he has this idea about human beings, and he's checking it out with you in his text. We seem to do a lot of that. Human beings seem to have a lot of things that they aim at, and we run around our life. A day in the life of a human being is usually some assemblage of things we're aiming at, trying to get done, things we are seeking out. So these can be very simple things. They are very simple things. You think about your day already. You came to school. That was you wanted to get to school. That's something you aimed at. I'd probably also talk about the example of just getting some coffee, which is something that I do every morning. You could also think about the example of going to the gym. So going to school, getting coffee, going to the gym, That is an end. It's a telos. I aim at it and I make it happen. Now, the next point, in addition to ends, is the idea that our ends are usually nested, is the word I want to use. That ends often have another end behind them. In other words, you're going to school, you're getting coffee, you're going to the gym for the sake of something else you're aiming at. And you could think about what that is. Why do you go to school? There's probably some immediate answers. You want to pass your class, you want to see your friends. There's probably some farther out answers. You want to graduate. Why do you want to graduate? Same with the coffee. I get coffee in the morning. Tastes delicious to me. Caffeine gives me a little energy. I get to do my work. Maybe I do a little bit better at my work. But why am I doing that work? What is that work? What do I do that work for? Likewise with the gym. What do you go for? What do you go to the gym for? There's lots of possibilities. You want to get better at a sport. You just want to be fit. You want to look a certain way. So the gym is an end, but then the thing you want from going to the gym is an end. And we could ask of that thing, what do you want that for? So we have ends. He's describing what he thinks is a particularly human thing. This is something human animals do. Aim at stuff for the sake of other stuff. And we can keep asking, what's that other stuff that you're aiming at? So that's nesting. It's like, go to the gym because of this, because of this. Get coffee because of this, because of this. Okay, hope you get the idea. Happiness, which is the title of this book of the section of the text you're reading by Aristotle, use the word happiness, is a very special kind of word. Aristotle is using it and just as the word we use to describe when the ends, the nesting ends, stops. So happiness is a special word because if we ask, what do you want happiness for? The answer is different than why are you going to the gym? Why are you going to school? Why are you getting coffee? When we use the word happiness, we understand it as the limit of things that we want. It is the end of the questions. Why do you want happiness? Well, duh. What do you mean? Happiness is its own thing. It's the goal. It's the goal. Happiness is the final telos. So he's just logically now trying to explain we seek ends get nested, but there's the possibility of this outer end where if we say, well, because I want to be happy, that's what I'm aiming at. Nobody asks, well, what do you want happiness for? Okay. So there's a kind of end which you stop asking, well, what else do you want for that, from that? Okay, hope this is making sense. So notice happiness is just a placeholder word. It actually doesn't tell us what the content of that happiness is. So there were lots of things people wanted back in Aristotle's day, and they're very similar to what people want now. And some of the popular ones were people wanted honor. They wanted to be seen a certain way by their peers, or people wanted wealth for all the things that wealth brings. And so happiness could be variously defined. Well, I want honor because honor would make me happy. End of story. I want wealth because wealth will make me happy. End of story. Kind of all stops, right? So people come up with different answers. Aristotle's just establishing that it's the end game, happiness, but we still have to fill it with content. What's going to go in it? So we're going to learn a second Greek word here. That Greek word is eudaimonia, which with Jamie's help will magically appear on the screen with me. And that's what gets translated as happiness in the text you're reading. But there's a little problem with the word happiness in English that is worth clearing up and trying to understand Aristotle. And that is that happiness sounds like a certain state of mind, a certain feeling, a smile on your face. And that's not what is meant in the Greek original. A better word, so I'm going to start using this word instead, is flourishing. Flourishing. So the idea is more doing really well in life. Why do you want this thing? Because of that thing, because of that thing? Because I want to do well in life. I want to flourish. I want to flourish. So the way a plant can be doing well or not doing so well, we can all call to mind the image of a tomato plant that is flourishing. It's green, it's got a lot of leaves, it looks sturdy, it's got a lot of bright fruit on it. It's a flourishing tomato plant. Well, what we could ask, Aristotle wants us to ask, what does it look like for a human being to be flourishing? That's what he means by happiness. To be doing really well. And you may not have a smile on your face when you're doing really well at life. So happiness is not the same as the feeling of happiness, a smile on your face. Happiness is eudaimonia, is flourishing. It's what is it to be doing well as a human being. Okay, so that's something I asked in the poll question from last week is, what are your ideas about that? So you could stop with Aristotle right at this point and say, neat little trick, Aristotle, good tip. Let's think about what it is to do well as a human being, and we'll just fill in the blanks ourselves. We can have that discussion. We could make a lot of progress about moral philosophy because Aristotle's taught us we just need to know what to aim at. We just need to know what doing well looks like, and then we can figure it out. We can make progress towards that.